And let's talk about the race issue, which is also the first two questions in our Q&A is about. And in your first book, the subtitle just has Christian nationalism. This one has White Christian nationalism. And so you're not saying that non-whites can score high on Christian nationalism. You're saying that when you include Christian nationalism with race together, it has more explanatory value than just Christian nationalism alone, right?
Absolutely. And so this is one of the things that Andrew and I have a paperback edition of Taking America Back that's coming out in May. And one of the things we talk about in the preface, if we could go back, we talk about this in the book at several places, but if we could have hammered home something or another factor, made something a little bit clearer in the book, it would have been that African Americans, for example, when they may score as high as white Americans on Christian nationalism and using our just really like generic Christian indicators that say nothing about race, but African Americans clearly seem to mean something different when they are affirming those questions. When white Americans affirm questions about Christian values, Christian nation, Christian heritage, those kinds of church and state, they tend to think nostalgically for a time that when the right people held the power and held the cultural influence was what America was as it should be, a kind of halcyon time. African Americans do not think that, like when they affirm Christian nationalism indicators, they don't think about those good old days when the right people were in charge and everything was as it should be. They often more likely think aspirationally for a time for the values that America claimed to always hold but never quite lived up to, right? Like aspirationally in that regard. And so it is just frankly empirically more accurate to talk about white Christian nationalism rather than this generic Christian nationalism.